Welcome to practice. For today's class, you'll want 2 blocks, and if you know you like a blanket to sit on when we do seated positions such as this one, feel free to grab a blanket, or if you just like it for your knees, grab a blanket. We're going to do a good amount of hip opening today to work towards a seated position. We're going to start lying down on our backs. So when you're ready, please come to lay down in Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of feet together, knees apart. And if you'd like to place a block underneath each thigh, go ahead and do so. Either usually lowest or medium height is best. Rest your hands somewhere on the torso if it's comfortable. So one hand on the belly, one on the chest, or 2 hands on the belly. Allow your eyes to close or soften. Invite a slow, deep breath in through the nose. Fill up your belly with air. And take an open mouth, clearing breath. And let's do that again. Breathe in through the nose. Send the breath down into the low belly. Open your mouth. Exhale. Clear it out. One more time if you need it. Breathe in. Send the breath downward. Fill up with fresh air. Open mouth. Clearing breath. Release any stale air. And now start to find a steady breath in and out of the nose. Begin to even out your inhales with your exhales, finding a steady tempo to the breath. And as you breathe in, imagine sending the breath down into the low belly, maybe even into the bowl of your pelvis, your hips. And as you exhale, just feel the body soften. Can you relax a little more into this shape? Take a few more cycles of breath here. Starting to bring your awareness down to the lower trunk of the body, the hips, the pelvis, this part of the body that's associated with the root chakra, which is our ability to feel stable and grounded. And oftentimes when life is a little extra busy, chaotic, stressful, or there's just some uncertainty going on, bringing the attention downward, doing poses such as the ones we'll do today to open and strengthen the hips are some of the best ways to really just ground that kind of chaotic energy. And then with your next breath in, bend your knees. Place your feet on the floor, feet about hip bone distance apart. And we'll start with a figure 4. So cross your right ankle past your left knee, coming into a figure 4. Flex the right toes by drawing them straight back towards the right knee. And if this feels like enough, stay with your left foot on the ground. Or draw your legs into your chest and thread your hands behind the left thigh. So as you draw the left knee in, notice if it's kind of swaying to the center of your chest. Try to draw it back towards the left shoulder. And then press your right knee and thigh forwards. And now, if you're drawing your legs into your chest, especially notice if you just flattened your low back to the mat to deepen the stretch, lift the low back away from the floor. So rock the pelvis forwards, and then try to press the right knee forwards. Try to keep a little space between the low back and the mat. Maybe draw the legs a little closer into the chest. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, release, place your feet on the ground. Switch, left ankle past the right knee, figure 4. So get that bony part of your left ankle past the knee. Flex the left toe straight back towards the knee. And then either stay or draw your legs into your chest, thread the needle. And again, if you're drawing the legs into the chest, notice if the right knee is kind of swaying to the left, pull it straight back towards the right shoulder. Feel your left thigh move forwards away from your chest. And then to deepen the stretch, you actually want to keep the natural curve of your spine. So do that by rocking the pelvis forwards. Lift your low back away from the floor. Press your left knee and thigh forwards. And then can you bring your legs even closer into your chest? And I feel that so much more intensely when I really try to do all those actions. One more breath in. And exhale, release. Place your feet on the ground, feet about as wide as the mat. Take a little swish of the knees side to side. seeing how close you can get your knees to the floor. And then draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. And from here, either roll to one side of your body or rock and roll up and down the length of your mat, and we'll meet in a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrist, hips over your knees. Cow cat, inhale, arch your spine, draw the heart forwards and up, slide the shoulders back. Exhale, reverse, round the spine. Inhale, arch, curl your tailbone up. Exhale, reverse, curl the tailbone under. Do that a couple more times on your own now. Maybe close your eyes so there's less outside distractions. I know practicing at home is sometimes more challenging. Try not to look at your phone. Don't worry about the time. Keep your attention inward. How is your body feeling today? Not judging, just trying to connect with the body. After your next round, come to a neutral position. Walk your hands forward a bit. Hands are shoulder width apart, wrist creases parallel to the top corner of your mat. Down dog, tuck your toes under, lift the hips. Settle in, make sure your feet are hip bone distance apart, inner heels hidden behind you. Maybe a little bend of the knees to stretch out the legs. Try to relax the head, let it hang between your arms. And as you settle into stillness, ask yourself if you feel your low back rounding. If so, bend your knees. Send your hips even higher. Get longer from fingers to shoulders to the hips. And with your next breath in, raise your right leg up. Bend your knee and open the hip. Try to lift your right inner knee as high as you can and wrap your left hip back towards the wall behind you. Straighten the right leg, square the hips, take an inhale. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands, get toes in line with fingers, and then drop your back knee to the mat. Low lunge, sweep your arms forward and up. Stay to exhale, direct your front ribs down and in. Lengthen your tailbone down. Ground through the front heel, lift your pubic bone up. Feel the lift of the front of the pelvis. You might bend the front leg a little more. Reach the arms higher, one more inhale. Exhale, lower your hands to the mat. Tuck your back toes, straighten your back leg, and reach your right arm to the sky, twist to the right. So feel your chest turn to the right. And now you're gonna turn all your toes to the right. Come to the pinky side of your back foot. Come to the outer edge of your back heel. If you need to, move your front foot a few inches down the long edge of your mat. If you don't need to, try not to. I know it's a weird pose. And then lift the bottom hip as high as you can. Take a breath in. Now exhale, dip your left hip towards the ground. Reach the right arm back, palm up. With your next inhale, lift the left hip, sweep your right arm up and over your ear, place your top hand down, turn the toes forward, runner's lunge, breathe in. Pyramid pose, exhale, straighten the front leg. Of course, feel free to bring hands onto your blocks, whatever height works for you. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Fold in towards your front leg, exhale. Couple more breaths. If you want to come onto the right heel and draw your toes back towards your face, do so. Maybe even turn your right foot out to the right a little bit. Does that change? Just stretch. And now re-bend your front knee. Turn to your left. Face the long edge of your mat, straddle folds. Rock forwards, heart forwards, long spine, breathe in. Bend your left knee, exhale, side or lateral lunge. You decide how low to go. And then come through center, straighten the left leg and switch, bend the right knee, side lunge, hips back. Crawl to the top of the mat, runner's lunge, plant your hands, three-legged down dog, right leg high, breathe in. Bring your knee into your nose, round your spine like a cat. Figure four down dog. Cross the right ankle past the left knee, hips up. It's kind of a weird pose. You can bend the left leg. I think that helps a little bit to send the hips higher. Now keep the figure four. Come forwards to a plank. Keep the figure 4. Drop to your knees. I know it's weird. You're in a weird figure 4 tabletop. Cat-cow. Inhale, arch your spine here. Exhale, round your spine. Tuck your toes under, your back toes under. Take a breath in. Exhale, right knee into the nose. Straighten your back leg. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Raise your left leg high, inhale. Bend your knee, open up the hip, exhale. Lift your left inner knee as high as you can and squeeze the right hip back. Straighten your legs, square the hips, take an inhale. Exhale, step your left foot forwards. Drop your back knee to the mat. Low lunge, sweep your arms up. Breathe in. Stay to exhale, soften the front ribs down and in. Lengthen the tailbone down. And then as you lift the front of your pelvis, your frontal hip bones up, reach the arms a little higher. One more breath. Maybe bend into the front leg a little more. Exhale, hands down. Tuck your back toes. Straighten the back leg. Twist left arm up. And now start to turn your toes to the left. You'll be on the very pinky side of your back foot. And you might be on the pinky side of your left foot. If you need to move this left foot down the length of your mat a bit, do so. If not, try not to. Again, another weird pose. Take a breath in. Exhale, dip your right hip as low as you can. Doesn't matter how much. Reach your left arm back, palm up. Breathe in. Exhale, lift the right hip. Sweep your left arm forwards, hands down, toes forward. Inhale in your runner's lunge. Straighten your front leg, pyramid pose. Of course, feel free to bring your hands to blocks. If you want to come onto the left heel, do so. Maybe turn your toes out to the left. See if that changes the stretch in your hamstrings. And now rebend your knee. Crawl to the right, face the long edge of your mat. You're in a straddle fold. Chest forwards as you breathe in. Bend your right knee, side lunge, exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend your left knee. Crawl to the top of the mat, frame your left foot. Three-legged down dog, left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose, round your spine, and then figure 4 down dog. Press the left ankle past the right knee, hips up, relax the head, push the ground away from you. Keep the figure 4 in your legs, come forwards through a plank, and then keep the figure 4 tabletop. Take a breath in, arch your spine, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. Tuck your back toes under, take an inhale. Exhale, left knee into your nose, straighten your back leg. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale to the belly. Point your toes. Keep your hands as light as possible. Inhale, lift head, chest, shoulders, maybe even float your hands off the mat, low cobra. Exhale, lower down. Again, inhale, lift up. Make your hands as light as possible. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, lift up. This time, stay up, squeeze your elbows back. Drop the gaze a little bit so the back of the neck is long. Take another breath here, keep your chest up. And then place your hands down, make sure elbows are over the wrist. If you need to walk your hands back, do so. Option to stay in cobra or inhale, up dog. Straighten the legs, full breath in. Down dog is where we meet. Stay for a full cycle of breath here. As you inhale, lift the heels high. And exhale, feet to your hands. Let's meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat, feet hip bone apart. Bend your knees a lot. Let your head drop. Keep a bend in your knees. Roll up for 3, for 2, and 1. Draw your shoulders back. Find your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Let's take a couple sun A's. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, fold, maybe a little bend in the knees if it helps. Heart forwards, breathe in. Plant your hands, step to a plank pose. Full breath in, heart forwards. Your choice, lower halfway or to the belly, chaturanga. Your choice, cobra on the belly or up dog, lift the thighs. Down dog, exhale. And after a little movement, find some stillness. Could be in down dog. Of course, you know, could be tabletop, could be child's pose. Relax the head. Come back to your breath. Can you breathe in and out of your nose? Can you slow the breath down? Breathe bigger. Breathe into your body. And breathe out. Take one more inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, feet to your hands, step or take a little hop. Lengthen your spine at the top. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms by your sides, back to mountain. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Heart forwards, inhale. Plant your hands, plank pose as you exhale, step back. Heart forwards, knees can be up or down in plank as always. Exhale, lower halfway or to the belly. Take your back bend of choice as you breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. In your down dog, try to wrap your outer upper arms back and spin your inner arms forward. Do that as you press into your thumb and index finger. Maybe start to sink your heels down even a little bit more. Start to feel the legs wake up. One more full breath in. Push back. End of your exhale, feet to your hands, step or hop forwards. Lengthen your spine at the top. Exhale, folds. Come all the way to stand. Inhale, rise. And exhale, arms by your sides. Let's do one more sun A. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold in. Heart forwards, inhale. Exhale, either step to plank or hop to bent elbows. Chaturanga, come through your vinyasa. Take the poses that make sense for your body. And even more importantly than the pose you do is how you do the pose. Can you move thoughtfully? Can you pay attention to your breath? Can you listen to your body? Take a full breath in and stay for the breath out. Inhale, come forwards, plank pose. Exhale, tap your right knee to your right upper arm. Three-legged down dog, breathe in. Step your foot in between your hands as you exhale, get toes in line with fingers, and then spin your back heel down for warrior two. Line up the front heel to the back arch, open your arms out wide to a T, and straighten your front leg. Take this left hip, firm it in, lift your right hip up. So your pelvis is upright, two sides of the waist are equally long. Arms out wide, take an inhale. Exhale, bend your front knee. Let's do that two more times. Straighten the right leg, why not reach the arms up? Exhale, bend your knee, arms out wide. Once more, inhale, straighten, reach up. Exhale, bend and hold. Continue to firm your left hip in. Try to lift the right hip up. Make sure there's no bend in the back knee. Can you straighten your back leg? But notice if when you do that, your ribs puff out. Think of knitting them in. And then soften the gaze over the right hand. One more breath. Flip your front palm, lean way back. Maybe bend the front leg a little more as you reach back. One more breath. Exhale, lower your hands down. Come to the ball of your back foot and walk your right foot to the very right side of your mat so your hands are inside your foot. I like to be on fingertips. You can also have hands on blocks. Now turn your right foot out to the right and then try to come to the pinky side of your right foot. It's weird. Inhale, dip your hips, let your heart lift. And then exhale, round your spine. push the floor away from you. So it's like weird lizard lunge cat-cows. Inhale, dip the hips, heart lifts. Exhale, round. Try that one more time. Inhale, hips dip, heart lifts, breathe in. Exhale, round. Neutral spine, hands under the shoulders. Quietly step your right leg back, plank, and then come through your vinyasa or come straight to down dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, left knee to left upper arm. Three-legged down dog, left leg high. And step your foot in between your hands. Get toes in line with fingers. Spin the back heel down for warrior two. Line up the front heel to the back arch. Open your arms out wide to a T. Straighten the left leg for a moment. Take your back hip, firm it in. Lift your left hip up and off the thigh. Keep that arms out wide. Inhale. Exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend. One more time, flow through that. Inhale. Exhale, bend and hold. Stamp down through your front heel and lift your left hip up and off the thigh. Make sure there's no bend in the back knee. Try pressing into your outer back heel. Slightly release the tailbone down. Relax the shoulders. And then flip your front palm, lean back, reverse the warrior. Maybe bend the front leg a little more. And exhale, hands to the mat. Pop up your back heel, heel toe your front foot to the left. Hands are inside your foot, either on blocks or the ground. Turn your left toes out to the left a bit. Come to your heel or the outer back heel, so pinky side of your foot. And then dip your hips, lift your heart, breathe in. Exhale, round your spine, lift the low belly up and in. Again, inhale, almost like a cow pose. Exhale, almost like a cat pose. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Neutral spine, heart forwards. Try to quietly step back. Try not even to drag your left foot, plank, vinyasa, or straight to down dog. Take a long breath in here. Full breath out. And then drop to your knees. Come to a child's pose. Big toes touch. Let your hips melt back. Rest your arms in whatever way feels best. And come back to that smooth and steady breath. In and out of the nose. If your breath got a little short or shallow, notice that. Maybe you feel that the body's a little warmer. Maybe a little more energized. Maybe you're feeling things that you weren't feeling prior to the movement. And it's a great thing to become aware of these qualities. But it doesn't mean that we need to try to evaluate them on our yoga mat. Just becoming aware of them is such a benefit. Take just about 3 to 5 more breaths here, keeping your attention on the feeling of the breath. And then after your next breath or so, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Take a full breath in through your nose, fill up your belly, and take an open mouth, clearing breath. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, tap right knee to right upper arm. Three-legged down dog, breathe in. Step your foot in between your hands, exhale. Spin the back heel down, open up wide, warrior two. So we're starting the same way. Keep the bend in your front leg, flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, lean back. Keep firming your back hip in. Straighten your front leg, arms out wide to a T. I'm gonna heel toe my back foot in 1/2 inch. Feel free to do so. Keep the back foot slightly angled forwards. And now let your hips move back. Reach the right arm forwards. Right hand to a block or against your shin for triangle. I'm a big fan of a block in this pose. Squeeze the right hip back towards the left heel. Push the left thigh back. Try to turn your chest open. Sometimes it helps to look forwards, even though the rotation doesn't come from the neck, just to open the chest. And if you tend to back bend, draw your front ribs in. Breathe into your low back. Take another full cycle of breath here. And then use the strength of your legs. Inhale, come back up, warrior 2. Bend your front knee just for a breath. Hands to the mat. Come to the ball of the back foot. Heel toe your front foot to the right, hands inside your foot. Look forwards, take an inhale, maybe let your hips dip a little bit. And then step your left foot outside your left hand, exhale, and squat, toes out, heels down. You can sit onto a block or two. You can also have a higher squat, doesn't have to be a deep squat. Hands to heart center. Drop your sitting bones, lift the chest. You probably already know, I think this is a pose we should probably all do every day. It's so important. It's kind of a good test to be like, how are my hips doing? Can I squat? If not, gotta do a little more yoga. Take one more breath. Plant your hands, fold forwards. Turn the toes forward. Feet about hip bone distance apart. Chair pose, bend your knees, reach your arms up. Go down and back with your hips. Go up with your heart. Sit a little lower, but reach the arms higher. One more inhale. Fold over your legs, exhale. Heart forwards, breathe in. Exhale, step your left leg back and then the right to a plank, Vinyasa, or straight to dog. Full breath in, and a full breath out. Left side inhale, plank. Exhale, left knee to left upper arm. 3-legged down dog, breathe in. Step your foot in between your hands, exhale. Spin the back heel down. Warrior 2, open up wide. Keep the bend in your front leg, flip the front palm, reverse the warrior. Try not to lose the bend in your front leg. Straighten your left leg, arms out wide. Maybe shorten the stance just a little bit. Back toes stay forwards a bit. And then let your hips go back, reach forwards, and then left hand either to a block or against the shin, triangle. Reach the crown of your head forwards and squeeze your left hip back in space, trying to lengthen the left side body. Spin the top ribs back, opening the chest, but keep your front ribs in. Stay for another breath, get planted through the feet. Use the strength of your legs, come all the way up. Bend your front knee, warrior 2. Hands to the mat, come to the ball of your back foot and heel toe your foot to the left. Look forwards, breathe in, maybe dip the hips. Exhale, step right foot outside, right hand. Turn your toes out, come into your squat however you need. Maybe it's higher, maybe you're sitting up on a block or two, hands to heart center. I can hear Kaya walking around upstairs. She just got new shoes, so they're a little extra loud. She's still adjusting. And Kaya's my dog, if you're unsure. Take another breath in, heart up. Hands down, exhale, folds. Turn the toes forward, feet about hip bone apart. Bend the knees, raise the arms, inhale, chair. Try to get the weight in the heels and the hips. If you feel like the weight's super far forward, try to lift the toes. Try not to curl the tailbone under, but instead lengthen your tailbone back, keeping the natural curve of the spine. Sit a little lower, reach the arms higher, breathe in. Hands down, exhale, folds. Chest forwards, inhale. Hands down, step the right leg back, and then the left, plank, Vinyasa, or straight to down dog. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Okay, this is our last time running through this flow. We'll start the same way, so trust that your body knows what to do. Inhale, plank. Exhale, right knee to right upper arm. Three-legged down dog, breathe in. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Spin the back heel down, warrior two. Take your time, try to make it a moving meditation. Reverse the warrior, lean back. Straighten your front leg, adjust your feet. Triangle, reach forwards, hips back. Right hand to a block or against the shin. Press down through the right big toe mound and your inner heel, so you're not falling to the outer edge of your right foot. Take another breath. Exhale, top hand to your hip. Look towards the top of the mat. We're coming towards half moon. If you don't have a block, grab a block if you'd like. Bend the front knee. Walk the right hand forwards. Stand on the right leg. Float your back foot off the mat. Your front knee is still tracking over the center of the foot, so firm your right hip in. You're trying to do that as you turn your chest to the left. Maybe the top arm goes up. One more breath. Warrior two, bend the standing leg, step long and back. Take your time, open the arms out wide to a T. Exhale, hands to the mat. Come to the ball of your back foot. Adjust your front foot to the right, plant your hands. Breathe in. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Squat. Hands to heart center. Lift your heart. Sit up a little bit taller. Draw the shoulders back. Take a full breath in. Hands to the mat. Exhale, folds. Turn the toes forward. Bend your knees. Raise your arms, chair pose. Now in a moment, we'll be passing through a warrior three. So a balance pose. If you think you'll want your blocks in front of you, make sure you have 2 blocks at the top of your mat. Take a breath in. As you exhale, stand on the right leg, left knee to the chest. I'm gonna do hands to heart center. Feel how your hips are facing the top of the mat. Keep the gaze steady, try to keep your hips square. Hinge at your hips, lean forward, pass through a warrior three. Send the left leg back, hands can of course come to blocks here. Spin the left hip down. Heart forwards, one more breath. Bend the standing leg a lot so you can lower your hands. Step the left leg back, runner's lunge. Three-legged down dog, right leg high, breathe in. Exhale, knee to your nose. Figure four down dog, right ankle past the left knee. Now try to keep the figure four. Come forwards through a plank. Keep the figure four, drop to your knees, tabletop. So this is where it gets a little funky. Walk your hands forward just a little bit. Let's take a cow cat. Inhale, arch your spine. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, arch. Come back to neutral, exhale. Now we're gonna come to a seated position. I'm gonna walk us through gomukhasana, and if that doesn't work for your body today, I'll give you different options. But to start, try to slide your right knee more towards the middle of your mat and move this right foot a little more open to the left. And now slide your left knee behind the right. I'm gonna crawl my hands forward, move your left foot off to the right. Sit back, and this is where you might want to place a block under your bum or a blanket if you prefer a blanket. If you don't need neither, you'll sit on the ground, gomukhasana, right knee over the left. And if you're like, this isn't working, it doesn't feel right in your body, right shin in front of the left, sukhasana. So right knee over the left if you're in gomukhasana, right shin in front of the left if you're in sukhasana. I like to be on the outer edges of the feet, pull the toes towards each other, and it feels more active in my hips when I do that. You can try it. The more you get your shins parallel to the top of the mat, the more you get into your hips. Bring your hands by your sides, push into the ground and sit up taller. Imagine your sit bones plugging into the earth, and from that rootedness, can you lift up any amount more? Keep the lift in your chest, lower the chin, and then feel free to stay upright or take a forward fold if you'd like. Just a couple breaths here. Relax the head and neck. Imagine your hips moving back. You can even use your hands, if they're in front of you, to push the ground forwards. Start to walk your hands back in if they were forwards. And now uncross your legs for a moment and then cross your right ankle in front of your left and grab your blocks. So place them outside your hips. We're gonna play with some hip lifts. If you haven't done this a lot or with me before, I recommend the medium height. If you've done this a lot or you know you can do it, you can do lowest height. And if you want an extra challenge, you can do no blocks, but I'm gonna go with the medium height because I haven't really been practicing this. So right ankle over the left. Give yourself a hug. Draw your knees into your chest. Place your hands down. Take a breath in, and then on a big exhale, try to lift your bum off the ground. And then lower. And let's try that again. So take a breath in, big exhale, try to lift your bum and maybe your feet, even if it's for a microsecond, and then lower. And then pause. So I don't teach jump throughs often, but we're here, so I want to offer it. And this is only if you want to try it. So one option is you'll do one more hip lift, and then you'll step back to down dog. Pretty normal transition. If you want to try the jump through, then it'll look something like this. You'll take a breath in, big exhale, lift the hips, and then try to move your knees back so you're sitting on your shins. That's the first step. The full jump through is when you don't let your shins come to the ground, but you hop your feet back to like a chaturanga. So you inhale, exhale, lift the hips, the feet, pass your feet through, chest forwards, chaturanga, and then I'm gonna drop to my knees, move the blocks, and meet in down dog. So if you wanna try that, go for it. Mine was not graceful, it's really just for fun. All right, and then down dog. Take a breath in, let that go as you exhale. So we've got one more side to go. Try to have no expectations. Imagine you have no idea what we're gonna do. Not jumping ahead, but just staying in your body. As you inhale, come forwards to a plank. Exhale, left knee to left upper arm. Three-legged down dog, breathe in. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Spin the back heel down. Open up wide, warrior two. Keep the bend in your front leg, flip your front palm, reverse the warrior. Straighten your front leg, adjust the feet as needed. Triangle, reach out and up. Left hand to a block or against your shin. Press into the left big toe mound and the inner heel. Get longer from the crown of your head to your hips. Stay for another breath in. Exhale, top hand to your hip, turn your gaze to the top of the mat. Bend your front knee, walk your left hand forwards, grab a block if you'd like one for half moon, and then launch forward, stand on your left leg. Raise your back foot off the mat. Now your front knee is over the center of the foot, not turning in. Keep that open in your chest a little more than you think you can. Maybe reach the top arm up, maybe raise the top leg a little higher. One more breath. Warrior two, bend the standing leg, step long and back. Take a moment, settle into your feet. And then hands to the mat, come to the ball of your back foot. Move your front foot to the left. Look forwards, breathe in. Right foot outside the right hand, exhale, squat. Hands to heart center, chest up, inhale. Hands down, fold, exhale. Turn your toes forward. Walk them in. Bend your knees, raise your arms up. Make sure you have blocks in front of you if you're using them for warrior three. Stand on your left leg, bring the right knee into the chest. You could do hands to heart center, hands to hips, whatever you like. Take a breath in, and then lean forwards. Warrior three, send the right leg back. Try to get your chest parallel to the mat. Spin the right hip down. lift the front ribs away from the floor. With your next inhale, slowly bend the standing legs. You can bring your hands down, step the right leg back, runner's lunge. 3-legged down dog, left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, knee to nose. Figure 4 down dog. Left ankle past the right knee. Keep the figure 4, come through a plank. Keep the figure 4, drop to your knees. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Inhale, arch your spine. Exhale, round your spine. Come back to neutral. Bring your left knee to the center of the mat. Slide the right knee behind the left knee and open your feet out wide. And then sit back. Maybe you're grabbing a block, sitting on a block or a blanket for gomukhasana. You can, of course, also take sukhasana, left shin in front of the right. If you're working on gomukhasana, work towards paralleling your shins to the top of the mat. Doesn't actually have to be totally parallel. Try coming to the pinky sides of your feet and drawing your toes towards each other. Sit up taller, push into the earth, breathe in. Lower the chin to the chest, exhale. And then either stay upright or walk your hands forward any amount. And you can imagine your hips moving back, using your hands to push the ground forwards. And breathe into the back body. And breathe into your lower body, your hips, your pelvis. And bringing the attention downwards to ground the energy. And then walk your hands back in. Come out of your pose and cross your left ankle past the right. Grab your blocks if you're using them for those hip lifts. If you are doing medium height of the blocks and you're like, that's easy, bring the blocks down 1 degree. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. So it's always on the exhale that we do a big movement. Take a breath in, plant your hands. Big exhale, try to lift the hips. And then maybe you're working on that today because that is a massive move. Take a breath in, exhale, lift the hips. Maybe you're working on lifting the feet. Okay. Try it 1 or 2 more times. If you want to work on the hop through, you kind of have to think chest forwards. And the first step is, can I lift and lower to the shins, and you see my chest comes forward? Because eventually we're working towards hopping through to chaturanga. So if you want to work on that 1 more time, do so. And then come to a child's pose. All right, let the hips melt back. Let's find a child's pose for a few breaths. Relax the shoulders. And then from here, roll up, sitting back on your heels. Swing your feet around and stretch your legs out in front of you. Reach your arms forward for a moment, curl your fingers in, and just slowly roll out the wrist. And then go the other direction. And then reach your arms forward. Take a breath in. And exhale, do a roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Try to land your low back first, and then the mid, your shoulder blades, till your shoulders come down in your head. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Bring your feet about as wide as the mat. Bring your arms out wide. Drop your knees to the right. And if you want to hook your right foot above the left knee, do so. As your knees fall to the right, rather than thinking about how much can I force my knees down, think about lengthening your left leg so that top leg forwards. You can even do a little tuck of the tailbone so you're in less of a back bend, and you'll feel that more in the left outer hip. to the left. Close your eyes if it feels all right. That was a pretty energizing class, so feel the energy come downwards. Feel the body soften and the breath slow down. Of your mat with your hips to bring your feet as wide as the mat. Drop your knees to the left, and you could stay like this or hook your left foot above the right knee. Imagine the right knee moving forward, so away from your chest. You might even feel a little bit of a tuck of the tailbone to deepen the stretch in that right hip. And then maybe the gaze goes right, soften or close the eyes. Relax the fingers, your shoulders. Slowly come through center. Uncross your legs, find the midline of your mat, and draw your knees into your chest, giving yourself a squeeze, a little rock side to side. And just as we started class, find Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of feet together, knees apart. Maybe you're grabbing blocks to place underneath each thigh. Maybe you're covering the eyes. Rest the arms in whatever way feels best. Allow your eyes to soften or close. Relax the shoulders. Relax your belly. No gripping. Notice how this pose feels now after a little bit of movement, connecting with your body, your breath. And we spend a lot of our time in our heads throughout the day, because we need to. So after connecting also with your body, also with your breath, these other components to who you are and that make you up, notice how you feel. Oftentimes we feel a little bit more grounded. We just feel better after yoga because we're not just in our heads. We're in our bodies. We're doing something good for our bodies, and as a result, it's good for our minds as well and for our souls. Invite a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Fill up your belly with air, and take an open mouth, clearing breath. And then now, if you'd like to stay in this shape a little longer, stay as long as you'd like. Otherwise, we'll take a little Shavasana. Extend your legs long on the mat. Rest your arms by your sides. And let go of any forced or controlled breath. Keep your attention on the natural feeling of your breath. You to stay here a few breaths longer or as long as you have. If you're ready to come out of this shape, and then just slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. And if you'd like, bring your hands together in a prayer position with your thumbs at third eye center, so just between the eyebrows. And thank you so much for showing up on your mat, for practicing with me. Om Shanti, peace.